Okay, everyone, so when I last left you, I asked if you could get your arms and legs attached to your body. So I've gone ahead and done that. And what you will be able to see is once I take the arms off, that I was able to, as I said, judge where you want your legs to be. So I put the legs down so it would sit, he would sit, Frankenstein would sit. And then what I did was I looked at whereabouts my arms should be. And then I stuck on some buttons the exact same way that I did the bottom ones. All right, then once again, I was able to cut a small slit in there. Now, some people have asked, with this slit here, won't it make it really flimsy in a sense, or it could split even further? Yeah, if you keep undoing it all the time, it will, but because you've stitched all the way around, it shouldn't spread any more than that. If you want, you can stitch around that, but once again, it's not like you're going to really be pulling the arms off all the time. And if you chose not to use buttons and you stitched it on anyway, you won't be trying to take the arms off. All right, so if I put my arms back on, okay, I have myself the main sections of my teddy bear done. Now, once again, mine's not perfect, just because I've been trying to hurry up so that I can show people. I've realized that there are people waiting for the new videos, but I think to myself, you know what? It's pretty good. So the next part you've got to move on to, so we can actually leave the body and the legs and the arms aside. And what we've now got to do is we've got to look at the face. Okay, now on my little model here, the one that I did previously, what I did was I actually cut out a small bit of felt and I used those as the eyes. Okay, so it's completely up to you. If you've got small buttons, you could actually put small buttons in there as well, and it would look just as good. This is where it's completely up to you with your imagination. I know some videos, they like to turn around and say, yes, this is what you have to do. But my idea is you do what you want to do to make sure that you enjoy the item that you're making. All right. So what you've got to do is you've got to get your two pieces for your head. Okay. And the easiest part is don't stitch them together yet. Figure out which one is going to be the front and which one is going to be the back. All right, because what you're gonna do is you're going to add those features on and then you're gonna turn it inside out eventually. So make sure that you pick the right side that you wanna do it on. So I'm looking at this thinking, okay, I've got my marks here. So maybe I should be stitching the face sections on here, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you already cut out a muzzle and a nose, all right? So that muzzle and that nose are going to fit on like that. Now, yes, you could probably use a hot glue gun to sort that out, okay? But it's probably easier if you want some movement. It's probably easier just to go ahead and stitch that on. Now, once again, if you're using the same color, okay, it's not really going to matter. You can see that with the black one here, I used black stitching, and so you can't tell that it's been stitched on. But of course, because I'm using my black stitching, you are going to see the black and the pink and the brown, okay? It's not that bad, all right? And also, I'm not really doing a tie stitch where as I go back there before and I tie it at the back. I can do that though, but once again, I won't be doing that from the front. I'll be doing that from the back, where I put it back through the loop, you can see, and I pull it there, but not too tight because I don't want the nose all over the place, all right? So if we just go ahead and I keep doing that. And so what I'll do is I'll leave you to do that. And when we come back, we will have our nose stitch on, and then I will tell you what else we have to do. Okay, so I went ahead and I stitched on my muzzle. Okay, now I've also got to figure out what kind of mouth am I going to put on there. So now, once again, it depends. If you get something from the craft shop that you want to use as a mouth, go ahead. For me, I just stitch the mouth. So what I do is I just get you'll have to get a different colored thread, compared to your here. So if you've got brown felt, you're not going to be using a brown cotton to make your mouth. But on this one here, if I do black, that will be fine. Now, the easiest thing to do is probably, and maybe with my pen, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make a little mouth. So, and I'm not going to make it too dark, just as a little bit of a template for me. So he's going to have a little bit of a smirk, all right? So then the easiest way to do this is, once again, you're going from the back section because that's going to be sewed on. And once again, I've already tied off my stitch at the end, all right? So it's not going to be able to come through. And once again, it doesn't matter how ugly it looks, because at the end of the day, this is going to be against something else. Okay, so once again, come back through, try not to get your stitches all stuck and twisted like I have, all right? And you can go ahead and try and just keep going along that line and get your mouth sorted, all right? So once again, just be careful that you don't get your stitches all knotted up, because then it will be a bit of an issue, all right? So once again, I've got mine, there we go. So I've got my first little bit done, okay? And then I'm just gonna go back in and once again, find along the line there. And I find it easier to sort of go backwards on yourself and then tie it off at the back. So I've got my bit there. I'm going to go through there, through my loop at the back, pull it tight-ish, and then once again, I've got a few little bits and pieces there, all right? So I'll leave you to it, and I'm gonna do the rest of my mouth, and when I come back, I'll show you the next step to do on your face. And through the magic of video, I've got my mouth done. Now, as you can see, I'm still attached. So I've got my little pink nose there, and I've got my little smirking face. Now, what I'm gonna once again do is exactly the same as how I tie everything else off. I'm gonna cut the back, make sure there is enough there that I can grab hold of. Okay, once again, if you've got smaller fingers, you might be able to do a smaller amount, but I find it difficult, maybe because I'm getting old, to tie these things off. So I give myself plenty of cotton, because at the end of the day, cotton doesn't cost that much money and I can waste a little bit. Not that I'm saying go ahead and waste a whole lot of things, okay? Because once again, if you didn't buy it, your parents bought it, and it does cost money. All right, so that is my muzzle, my nose, and my little mouth. All right, so once again, you want to see something to go from, that's it there, okay? Now I've got to come up with the idea for my eyes, okay? And also I've got to put in my little ears. Now, as I said, you can draw these features on if you want to. The problem that we've got is, even with using the pen, okay, it still comes off the more you touch it. So you'd have to really use a permanent marker that isn't going to leach into the rest of the fabric. Okay, so maybe if you have a fabric pen or something like that, that might work, save you some time stitching. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave you to do that. So you're gonna add the muzzle to the face, okay? And then what you need to do is you need to put the little ear inserts in. So stitch those the exact same way that I did this one here. So your face, or your face here, has the little ear patches. Okay, once again, if you want to color those in, you can, but you need to figure out what's going to work for you. So once again, you position the muzzle on there, at the spot that you want. Okay, and then where is my other little ear patch gone? Have I lost it completely? No, there it is. Okay, and it's nice because it will actually just stick to the felt like that for the camera. All right, so once again, that is going to be my face once I stitch it all. Then, as I said before, I've got to figure out, and this won't stay there, do I want to use a button or do I want to just get a little bit of fabric? Okay, my other one, I used a little bit of fabric. So maybe on this one, to make it a little bit different, I might use a button. All right, so it depends on what buttons you have. I know that it's hard to get down to the shops when you're locked at home in COVID, but if you have ordered a few things or you've got some things laying around the house, you might be able to sort that out. All right, so I'm going to leave you to it. You can stitch your muzzle on, you can stitch your ears on, stitch your eyes in, okay? You choose where you want them, and then I'll come back and show you how you're going to stitch your back piece on, then you're going to turn them inside out, and you're going to start putting some stuffing in there. So you're almost done, all right? So I'll leave you to it. Once again, instructions, you're going to stitch around here, add your muzzle, then you're going to stitch your ear pieces in and add some eyes, okay? You choose. Alrighty, I will catch you in the next video.